Okay, let's talk about AI again. It's been a year and a bit since I did the last video when Midjourney was making huge waves and freaking everyone out, and it's been freaking everyone out in different iterations since then.
To start a conversation about the practical things that needed to be done to prepare for the age of AI.
So I've tried a few times to include it in my practice and I really struggled. It was just a little bit too eerie. The methods that I've already developed over the last couple of years are still really wonderful. That whole experience of being playful and experimenting with photography and just very much hands-on is, for me, crucial to my creative process. But this can't be ignored. This is something still very insane. And what I think we should try and do is try and recreate some of the artworks that I've drawn with Midjourney and just see how close we can get to that finished drawing. Also, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, but I'll tell you more about them later. Let's give Cocacola a try. First prompt I'm going to go for is, let's be precise, male figure with kudu horns coming out of head, flowers growing from the horns, hummingbirds feeding from the flowers. I've changed all the settings to add as little creative variation. I wanted to try and stay as close to the script as possible. Let's see what it does. Whoa, this first attempt is scarily good. It's struggling a little bit to get the kudu horns. Oh, wow. What's interesting is when I said blindfolded, it actually took the fabric that I'm wanting to use. So it's like that bandage fabric, which is crazy. That was something that I actually suspected I was gonna have to try and stipulate. I really love the lighting as well. I mean, there is still that like strangeness. It's doing such weird things here. It's given the bird's horns on this one. I mean, I'm just finding this strange to look at. I'm really struggling to get those figures in the background the way that I need them to be. I think it'll be cool to try and give it the challenge of doing one of the other drawings, so maybe Handle or August, because those artworks have hands in them and AI has notoriously been really bad at doing hands, so let's see how that turns out. Elephant lighting from top. Super simple prompt, let's give that a try. So one of the things that I immediately am noticing is that it's doing a really good job at getting hands, which is really promising. It's gone ahead and like made something that the smoke is coming out of. Let's say small elephant. The elephant feels a bit weird. There's that eeriness to it. It feels very computer generated. Okay, now it's missed the prompt completely. The thing here is that it really is difficult to try and make a prompt to accurately describe something that you have in your head. I also just don't have the patience right now to really be trying and failing. There's almost like this sense of gambling with this, where you type a prompt and you just hope that something comes out. And I wonder if that's maybe how you feel being new to this method of creating. And the more trust you have for your ability to write prompts and to communicate with the AI, then it feels less like you're, just rolling the dice each time you write a prompt. You know that this is part of the process and you're going to get all of these different variations and then you start to hone in on one. I'm not sure how to do that because every time I click on, subtle variation or strong variation on a specific one, it goes kind of in the right direction, but I still then need to tweak that. Okay, let's try a different artwork. We're waiting on stone. Male figure meditating, balancing rock stack on head. Okay, not quite. You can say bald monk, 30 years old. Okay, let's give that a try. I feel like we're getting somewhere. This one feels a little bit easier. Oh, that's so interesting how the anatomy changes like that with the arms going up. This dude does not look like he's 30. I feel lied to. There's such an interesting catch here. Like, I find this extremely tiring, and that might have to do with not being familiar with what looks like progress and what isn't progress. We're starting to lose it a little bit with the anatomy. Not sure what's going on there. That guy is saluting. Also does not look like he's 30. They're setting unrealistic male expectations for bodies here. The detail in the stomach looks so real. Even the veins in the arms are really accurate veins. They're not just these random lines. That's anatomically where veins would be. Absolutely unbelievable. It's crazy to see this having drawn bodies so often and knowing that there's anatomy that is really subtle, and I don't know how the AI learns that so well. Oh, okay, so I'm feeling really excited to potentially be able to use this tool with my work, and then I'm feeling quite threatened as well, where I've put so much work and effort into being able to do compositions like this. I also know that I just have a lot more fun when I'm practically trying to create the visuals that I have in my head. So trying to do that with models and Photoshop and that interaction with other people and the collaboration, that whole process feels like a lot of fun to me. But I also have access to that, and that's something that took a long time to build up. So that's just part of my process. But if I was stuck in my room and I needed to try and create visuals and references, being able to spend a few days, the same amount of time that I would taking photos, I'm almost sure that I'd be able to tweak these to get exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not getting close to my artworks, but it's producing things that I think are also incredibly beautiful. But yeah, I think the question definitely remains, if you were to just copy some created with an AI prompt, would that still be original content or not? It's doing a lot of thinking for you, making a lot of decisions for you that you otherwise would have had to make yourself. And I think that's definitely making the job easier, especially for new artists who are wanting to establish themselves. But I think the danger here is that when things are made easy, you don't necessarily do a lot of the processing yourself. And so your style and your themes, or the way that things interact, get dictated by the AI. So I think if what you're wanting to do is just do drawings or paintings, or like apply pencil to paper, and you want to try and use AI to create those references, you can definitely do that, and you'd make pretty interesting artworks. I think the conversation about whether it depicts what you're wanting to depict or whether it's doing a lot of that for you is probably one that we'll have down the line. For people who don't have access to a photography studio and all the resources to try and do these things yourselves, this is a really viable option. I think if this was around when I was starting out, I probably wouldn't have had to learn photography, and I might have gone more down the learning how to do effective prompts route, because this feels like the path of least resistance, and the cost of trying to start doing this versus trying to get into photography, night and day. This is definitely the route that I think a lot of people will be taking, and it'll be interesting to see whether a lot of art starts to look the same because of this essential conceptualizing phase being drawn from a single source. This is a really scary and exciting topic for a lot of us. A lot of us feel very protective of our ideas and very protective of our process, and having something which is a few years old now, but it's still very new for the mainstream, and a lot of things that we have to start considering. There's a lot of mental work that has to go around that. There is going to be a new wave of artists coming through, a wave of artists who have no problem with taking the shortcut. And we've taken a lot of shortcuts that for us weren't a big deal, but for generations before were big deals. And some people condemn us for doing those things. The camera obscura is an example of that, even though it's something that was done years and years and years ago. At the time, I think there was a lot of condemnation for using those techniques. This is no different. This is something that is a huge shortcut that some of us will really feel bitter about, whereas others will just not care, and they'll produce amazing art with this new tool that's available to us. And we all just need to talk about it a whole lot more. Before in this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to its video sponsor, Squarespace. I've been working with them for a couple of years now, and they've played a huge role in my career, not only in sponsoring this video and helping me maintain this channel, but more importantly, early on in my career, I was looking for a way to showcase my work, and I didn't have time to learn HTML and to try and figure out how to build a reliable website that didn't break and just had everything working perfectly. I also wanted to find a way to showcase my work, make it easy for collectors to find me and get in touch with me, and I felt that Squarespace did that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register a domain with them and set up an online store, and most importantly, I could design a portfolio and show my work the way that I wanted to. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try, and if you decide that you love them, use this offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. It's crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. It helps the channel out in a huge way. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, if you think it's a good thing, if you think it's a bad thing. Really interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.